No, 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 no.
Good day, ladies and gents, my name is Hiezo and I'm DiscussThing, and we're back with more Assassin's Creed Shadow news. It doesn't seem to end for Ubisoft and their upcoming game, and the controversy just keeps on rolling and more people are getting angry, and now Japanese fans are officially angry, pissed off, and have actually taken action against Ubisoft in a more serious matter. But before this video continues, I just want to make an announcement. I do have a Patreon on which every new patron will receive some very nice rewards that I'm working on right now. And one very important thing for my Patreon is that 80% of anything that I receive there goes to helping homeless animals, shelters for animals in need, and all those charity organizations, which I will gladly show you in future videos. And only 20% will go to me just bettering my equipment and stuff that I would need in order to continue making these videos. I also have a Discord that I've linked below in the comments, on which you can connect and get some updates to an upcoming charity stream, which is again directed to homeless animals and animal shelters that are in need of our assistance. Okay, thank you, and back to the video. I am so glad that I waited to make this video, because if I had made it yesterday on the day before, then I wouldn't have viewed a massive and a very nice update to the story and a very nice video that I'm going to present to you in this video regarding the forced diversity, the Yasuke problem, the whole issue that Ubisoft has presented regarding this game. I'm going to start off with the petition that has been going on for a few days and has been circling the web, that has been created by Japanese fans on change.org, and it's very rapidly gaining more and more popularity. The petition: Assassin's Creed Shadows to be cancelled. Now, this is a Google translated text, but I think the headline is enough to get you to speed what's going on. It's important to say that this number, 58,257 people, is from just now. Yesterday it was around 26,000 and the initial goal was, I think, 25,000. Now it's all the way up to 75,000. 9,288 people have signed today, and if I refresh the page, you'll see that even more people have signed it. So as we're speaking, more and more people are signing this petition and are expressing their anger and their disappointment at Ubisoft, and especially their contempt of the forced diversity, the blatant racism against Japanese people that they have presented numerous times. And we have it from the source itself, from Japanese gamers who just don't want this to be done to their traditions, to their history, and to their culture as a whole. You have to understand something, that a Japanese theme Assassin's Creed game was anticipated and expected and desired for nearly a decade now, if not even longer. Ever since the first game was released, a lot of people said that such a type of game and such gameplay and such a history and such a overall feel would be amazing if it was themed in Japan, and for years the fans wanted that type of game. Then Ghost of Tsushima came and fans got something similar and they loved it, and although the game was criticized by the left crowd and the woke people, it was still very much enjoyed by true gamers and true fans of actual good content. Now Ubisoft comes along and they said, okay, so apparently this is going to be successful, we're gonna make our own game for this. And what did they do? They absolutely fuck it up. And I just want to reiterate a point that I have been making for several videos now. Despite the things that I'm saying when I'm reviewing these storylines and these news, I don't hate diversity in video games or in any media at all. I have no take in natural diversity, in organic diversity in shows, in games, in any type of media. What I hate is the forced diversity. And what we have here is forced diversity because everybody knows now and everybody can check that Yasuke or whatever you want to call him was not an actual samurai. He was a historical figure, which is another thing that Ubisoft is taking a new turn by inserting a historical figure as the protagonist, but he was not a samurai. He was a retainer, which is a little more than a butler and a servant to a Japanese lord. And that's what we call forced diversity. Diversity for the sake of diversity. And it's not only bad enough that they're doing this, but they're doing this against another group that is actually considered a diversity minority group by the Western media, which is Japanese people. And you're doing a game of their ancient culture and their rich traditions and their rich history, and you're perverting it. That's what they're doing. And naturally, gamers and a lot of fans of Assassin's Creed and of good quality games were angry. Ubisoft absolutely dismissed these claims and the anger and the disappointment in fans and continued on with their narrative, releasing gameplay trailers, releasing rap music when Yasuke fights, which is another blatant idiotism from them. And they thought, yeah, we have a few months, so nobody's getting angry over there in Japan, even though that wasn't true before, so we're okay. Now we have this petition and it's growing by the minute. And in addition to this, you have a lot of Japanese gamers and a lot of Japanese fans and a lot of Japanese people in general who have heard that, and they're also expressing their absolute disappointment, whether it would be ratioing the Japanese trailer by a lot or making a video just like the channel I'm going to show you now. This is the YouTube channel Shohei Kondo. I hope that I'm not butchering the name. And this is a person who, in their latest video, which is this, Listen Ubisoft, a almost 27-minute long video, he expressly tells us that he is a full Japanese. He's not mixed, he's not Japanese American, he's 100% Japanese. And he made this video telling Ubisoft their and his and the overall fans' thoughts on what they're doing. Now, I'm not going to play the whole video, I'm just going to play a small section right in the beginning, which actually supports my statement on the diversity and what the people like him think about it. Let us watch.
Japanese are not angry about non-Japanese main character, okay? And we are not mad about the idea of bringing LGBTQ to the video game. I think we are more welcome that. We want to see more like a diversity, the real diversity, okay? Ubisoft, what you're doing is the fake, hypocritical diversity, okay? And what you're doing, Ubisoft, in your new racist video game called Assassin's Creed Shadow is just you're arrogant.
And there you have it. This is a Japanese person who absolutely is fed up with the game. Further along in the video, he actually reviews some interviews that I have watched while watching his video, and he has a lot of very on-point comments regarding this. I encourage you to go and check out his channel, check out his video and his content as a whole, because it's worth to watch it. And when you see the response to those posts, you get a very good idea exactly how concerned Ubisoft and the fans are with something like forced diversity and what they're doing to the Japanese people. Shohei also reviews the gameplay trailers and points out some very visible to him discrepancies, right down to the type of plants and the type of trees that grow up, the sakura tree that grows according to his words in the spring, while some other crops and some other plants grow in the autumn, but they're seen together, and it just doesn't make sense. He reviews the whole thing. He does have some positive thoughts on part of the gameplay, but overall he just critiques a lot of historical inaccuracies. And we all know that Assassin's Creed does have a history of just exaggerating historical events. I'm pointing out to the Pope fight scene in one of the games that I've saw recently pop up again. But when you have a historical figure as your protagonist, and when you want to pretend and to proclaim that you're historically accurate and you have consulted specialists and you have consulted a lot of people who know about Japanese culture and history supposedly, when you claim that in your interviews and in your posts and in your press releases, seeing something like this being dismantled by the channel that I just show you is simply laughable, because Ubisoft is just a laughingstock at this point. They don't have any ground to stand on for what they're doing to Assassin's Creed. And I know that probably the game won't be cancelled, even with the petition, even if it reaches 100 or 200,000 signatures. They just don't care about these petitions because they're a company. They've already put in the money. They already have all the press releases, the dates, they have all the interviews, they paid all the voice actors, they did all the things. So the game is probably just a few tweaks away from being absolutely complete and being tested in real life scenarios. So they're not going to cancel the game. That's my thought. But what I do think is going to happen when the game finally releases in November, I think, is that it won't do even half as good as they're expecting and they're hoping for. Because whatever you might think, the game does look like it has a lot of money put into it, because it's an Assassin's Creed game. I don't think it's going to be cheap to be made by any standard. However, the money that it needs to make in order to be a successful game will not be made, in my opinion, because the anger is just too much. Previously, throughout history, people would hate watch and hate play games in the bulk just so they can make content on YouTube or on other platform. However, I think that we're mostly out of that anger and that practice because we have reached the level of apathy with woke, with diversity, and with the leftist propaganda. We are now apathetic to everything. That's why viewership on shows like The Acolyte and all the other shows drops. That's why don't we openly hate something or some other shows as much as before. We just post a video to content creators like me and we're done. We just turn our backs on it, and that is worse than hate playing, hate watching, hate buying, and just expressing your anger. Because when you're true with anger, you don't have anything else to give, and the show doesn't receive any attention, in this case the game. And in my previous video, I think I mentioned that my prognosis is going to be that the game Black Myth Wukong is going to outperform and outsell Assassin's Creed Shadows by a long shot. It's going to make at least a quarter more than Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it's going to be played much more. And if that happens, then I think Ubisoft will either do some layoffs or just will have to rethink their woke strategies and who they listen to in the future, because when they're not listening to gamers and actual fans, that's what happens. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, press the like, press the subscribe, and do make a comment down on the video. Follow me on my socials, my Patreon, my Twitch, and every other socials that I've posted below. Connect with me, let us talk, let us discuss, tell me what you think, and I'll see you later. Cheers and stay fresh.